Hello. A very, very good afternoon, good morning, good evening to all our distinguished guests joining us literally around the world. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you. This is Simi, COO with CCE Finland, and you are welcome to our webinar, which is going to talk about our upcoming 12th symposium. This 12th International Symposium is focusing on education leadership, where we will explore the theme leading the future. So if you're just joining us, we warmly welcome you. And we are so delighted that you can be there with us today here. And we are looking forward to seeing you in person in Finland on 4th May, which is when the whole excitement starts. And we move on to the school tours, which is our residential program. And then we go on to our main event, which is our conference in the University of Lahti. So again, a warm welcome. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you and our distinguished guests today on this webinar. Now, education leadership is a pivotal moment, and this world is changing rapidly. Now, we have to ask ourselves, is it that we have to only keep up with how it is changing, or we have to lead the way? How are we supposed to lead this way in a rapidly changing environment of education in AI? And how are we going to bring these transformations into our classrooms with our students in the network or in the confinements of the countries and the policies we work with? This and more, it will be answered somewhat today. And to give you a kind of a glimpse of what you will expect when you come to the 12th symposium in Finland, is how are we going to bring this whole diverse perspective and expertise and a shared commitment to bringing in this change by our leadership. So let's begin this journey together. It is my pleasure to welcome all our distinguished speakers and my team of CCE Finland. And at this moment, I introduce my colleague, Ms. Erin, who will take us forward and talk a little bit about this symposium. So Erin, over to you.
Thank you so much, Simi, for the warm welcome. And hello, everyone, and a very special welcome to all our educators, researchers, school leaders, and partners joining us from around the world. I'm thrilled to introduce the objectives and key focuses of the 12th International Symposium on Creative Education Leadership Summit. This year's theme is Leading the Future, and that's just also more than a title. It's a call to action. It invites us to rethink leadership through the lens of creativity and innovation and global collaboration. Our symposium is designed to inspire dialogue across the borders, bringing together over 25 countries to share transformative practices in education. Whether you are presenting research, participating in our residential program, or joining us for policy and leadership discussions, this event is your platform to grow, connect, and lead change. The sessions will revolve around several key themes, as leadership for future-ready schools, innovation in pedagogy and digital learning, global perspectives on education policy, equity, inclusion, and sustainability in education. Together, we are co-creating a global community of forward-thinking leaders committed to shaping the future of education. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Let's lead the future together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Erin, for taking us through a glimpse of 12th International Symposium. I now call upon my another colleague, Ms. Paula, who will take us through the same thing, but in Spanish for our Spanish audience joining us around the world. Paula, over to you.
Muchas gracias, Erin, y un cordial saludo a todos los participantes que nos acompañan desde diferentes partes del mundo. Es un honor para mí compartir con ustedes algunas reflexiones claves sobre el liderazgo educativo desde una perspectiva global en nuestra lengua común, el español. En esta era de constante transformación, el liderazgo educativo debe ir más allá de la administración, debe inspirar, innovar y construir comunidades de aprendizaje resilientes. Las tendencias globales nos muestran una necesidad creciente de líderes que abracen la inclusión, la sostenibilidad y la tecnología como herramientas para preparar a nuestras escuelas para el futuro. Hoy hablaremos sobre estrategias colaborativas que han demostrado impacto en diferentes contextos, desde el trabajo entre docentes y familias hasta redes internacionales que promueven el aprendizaje compartido y la creatividad en el aula. Finlandia, país anfitrión de este simposio, es un ejemplo de cómo el liderazgo basado en la confianza y la autonomía puede generar cambios profundos y sostenibles. Este encuentro es una oportunidad única para intercambiar experiencias y enriquecer nuestras prácticas. Sigamos construyendo juntos un liderazgo que inspire a las futuras generaciones. Muchísimas gracias. Y ahora me gustaría enseñaros la página web donde podéis encontrar toda la información. Un segundito. Compartir. Aquí. ¿Podéis ver lo que estoy yo viendo? Vale. Pues aquí tenemos...
Paula, one second. Sorry to interrupt you. If you're sharing your screen, we can still not see it. Would you kindly do that again? Yeah, now
Can you
it's
see now?
coming in.
Ok, thank you, sorry. Bueno, ahora os voy a enseñar la página web. Tenemos aquí el 12 Symposium, donde están el programa residencial, fechas importantes, registro, los premios, cómo se paga de forma online, información sobre previo simposium, también información sobre los hoteles, el programa, políticas de cancelación, preguntas frecuentes, dónde está localizado, temas interesantes, y aquí también tenemos el coste. Aquí al principio tenemos Bienvenida a Finlandia, nos explican de qué trata este simposio. Y podemos ver por aquí abajo las fechas, que serán del 4 al 9 de mayo del 2025. La localización, la podemos encontrar aquí. Y aquí nos encontramos varios vídeos que demuestran un poquito sobre qué va la experiencia. Tenemos que tener súper en cuenta las fechas importantes, como pueden ser el registro, o también tener en cuenta el tema de las visas, para así conseguir el visado. Más abajo nos encontramos una organización sobre lo que se va a realizar cada día, desde el 4 de mayo hasta el 9, y aquí hay una breve explicación de lo que pasará cada día en el calendario. Y nos encontramos aquí más abajo 3 tipos de cursos, que sería el residencial, que es el todo incluido, en el sentido de que hay el hotel, la comida, lo que se realiza, venir solo a las conferencias, o en el caso de que no puedan asistir, pueden realizarlo virtualmente. Y estos son los 3 tipos que hay. Y aquí podéis rellenarlo. Y esta sería la información. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much, Paula, for translating the basic information for us in Spanish. I really appreciate that. And for all the audience who is joining us just now, we warmly welcome you once again to the curtain raiser for the 12th International Symposium on Education Leadership, which is happening in Finland. It's an honor that we have such a diverse group of educators and leaders with us today, and we are exploring the theme of the conference, which is Leading the Future. And if you missed the start, we were talking about how education is evolving rapidly. And as leaders, we must not only adapt, but drive the meaningful change. Today's speakers bring in the invaluable insights, a glimpse into what you will be listening to them when you attend our symposium, and the different perspectives that challenges us and inspires us. So let's make the best of this session. And let's welcome all of our audiences around the world. And at this moment, I'm very happy to go to our first keynote speaker, who will be joining us personally in Finland. It is my absolute honor to introduce my mentor and president of EIU, Professor Dr. Roy. He's a distinguished leader in education and innovation with years and years of experience in literally shaping the global education policies and leadership strategies. Dr. Roy is actually instrumental in driving the transformative change in education. I know you shy away from a very long introduction. So at this moment, I will pass on the floor to you, Dr. Roy. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Simran. Indeed, I look forward to the day I would call you Dr. Simran. So make it soon, okay? And yes, I do not like long introductions because I feel more than the introduction, a person's real worth and substance is defined by his or her actions in education. So I strive to actually do things rather than, just collect accolades and certification and, recognition. For me, I think that is not really important. So thank you for understanding that. Coming to the topic that was shared with me today, the evolving role of education leaders in a dynamic world, very long topic, people like educators like long topics. Leadership strategies for innovation and sustainable change. Oh, I'm breathless. Anyway, basically, we are trying to define the future or redefine the future of education. And as Ms. Simran said, uh, a lot of reputable expert educators have gathered today and will gather in May in Finland to discuss about this very topic. One of the things that I've observed through my few years of experience in education is that education enterprises or education or educators themselves do not really feel the need. I'm not generalizing, but we're looking at a few cases, instances, especially in a few countries that I've observed so far. Educators and education enterprises do not really feel the need to change because society accepts the norm. Okay. Whereas in businesses, it's not the case. In fact, today I'm going to share with you an example from an actual business and how we as education and educators can learn from the business and business field and make a change in our own industry. So what I've seen is in businesses, if you don't innovate, if you don't reinvent yourself, if you don't change, you go out of business. In education, you can remain the same forever. You will still be here. In fact, a lot of people still love traditional education. They love traditionalism in education. They love the conventions of education. And so while there are a lot of external forces trying to redefine education and try to change, there are also a lot of internal forces that resist the change, and hence it has become very, very complex and complicated to actually bring about systemic change. There are changes definitely in pockets everywhere, but systemic change is what we are talking about, and we want changes in masses, and so that is what we aim for. And so let's discuss a little bit about that. So just want to greet everyone. Uh, Good day wherever you are, and I am Dr. Roy, as Ms. Simi just introduced, and I want to talk about leadership, innovation, and sustainable change in education, but through a lens that many of you will recognize, which is Google's famous 20% time policy. How many of you are aware of Google's 20% time policy? I think it's no more in place. Google does not practice that anymore, but it was one of their strongest points in terms of operations, in terms of their leading in the past. But how many of you have heard about this? Google's famous 20% time policy. Anyone? Okay, some of you have heard about it. So when Google introduced its 20% time policy initially, it gave permission to employees to use 1/5 of their work week to pursue their passion project. In other words, whatever they were passionate about, anyone, okay, either individually or in clusters, in departments, or in a larger group, could pursue what they were passionate about, and they could pursue ideas that they believed could make a difference. And this simple act of trust and empowerment led to the creation of some of Google's most innovative products, such as Gmail, Google AdSense, Google News, Google Maps, and so on and so forth. Okay, that was when the 20% time policy was in place. Ever since, okay, Google grew. Now I think Google's market capitalization in the stock market is more than $1 trillion US. That's a huge company, along with Amazon, along with Tesla, along with Meta. So these are giants in terms of market capitalization. Uh, the world has never seen this kind of market capitalization for a company. Okay, even if it is taken public. All right, so these are like tremendous growth we are talking about in terms of market capitalization. In other words, in terms of their success, and they're still growing, right? But as they grew, their priorities shifted. Okay, and the company began focusing more on structured goals and short-term gains and results, and the freedom that once defined the 20% time policy quietly faded away. Just like Kodak, just like Nokia, just like so many other, like even I am currently in Thailand, and every time I drive outside, I see a lot of new EV cars, a lot. Okay, they've just flooded the market in just a matter of 5 years or less. So this is all reminders to us educators that innovation needs space, trust, and long-term thinking. So deriving the lesson from Google's 20% time policy, even though it's no more in place, it has faded away. And in fact, after this policy, faded, you hardly see any new innovation or invention from Google. Nowadays, you don't see that anymore. They're just maintaining status quo and trying to keep their, bottom line intact, grow further. Just about money, commercialization. But going back to the 20% time policy and what it meant to the employees and to the world at large because of the innovations, it is a reminder that innovation needs space, trust, and long-term thinking. So this is exactly where we as education leaders stand today. Just as Ms. Simran just mentioned, okay, we live in a very dynamic world, and we cannot even foresee or project into the future. Forget about 10 years from now, 5 years from now, even next year, we cannot really project or forecast anymore. And our role has evolved from mere administrators to visionaries. We are no longer managing institutions, even though some of us hold the title of CEO, managing director, general managers, etc., etc. We are no longer just managing institutions. We are leading transformation in a dynamic world. So let's put that in the context, okay? We are leading transformation in a very dynamic world. So things like AI come into the picture and more than that. And if we are serious about innovation and sustainable change, we must then create a culture where experimentation, like Google's original 20% time policy, is encouraged and protected. So let's ask this question frankly, honestly. All of us are educators. We are seasoned educators. We are very experienced and expert educators. But ask this question: how many of us are willing to encourage and protect innovation in our own workspaces, in our own departments, in our own organization as educators? Because as I started earlier, educators are some of the few people I've seen from my own experience who are the hardest to change. And one of the most common theme that dominate myself and Miss Simran's conversation is this very thing. We want to bring about changes, but then a lot of education and education leaders or educators resist this innovation, resist reinvention, redefinition of who we are as educators and education. So how do we do this? How do we, like Google, encourage and protect innovators in our own space? Well, first, we need to lead with vision and purpose. And every time we give speeches, we talk about this. We want to be visionaries. We want to be purposeful. We talk about it, but it's not easy when it comes to implementation and execution. Well, like Google's early days, we need to trust our people, whether they are educators, administrators, or staff, teachers, or even learners, to explore new ideas that align with our shared vision. Second, we foster a culture of experimentation. Innovation doesn't happen in a rigid system. It happens when people feel safe to take risk, try something new, and even fail without fear. Now, of course, I am preaching to the converted, especially when I talk to people from Finland, for example. Okay, for you, you already figured this out, and in fact, you have this integrated in your very, system in education all through your grade levels and even university. But then I'm talking more to countries and constituencies where this is still lacking and lagging. So we need to really rethink what we are doing. So when people feel safe to take risks, when people, feel safe to try something new and even fail without fear. Or fear of what? Fear of punishment, fear of ridicule, okay? Fear of losing hope or fear of losing funds, okay? That is the kind of challenges that we are facing today. So if Google's story teaches us anything, it is that when the freedom to innovate shrinks, so do breakthroughs and creativity. So there is a direct correlation between the two, okay? You remove the freedom, you remove the funding, you remove the resources, you remove opportunities for breakthroughs, innovation, and creativity. Now, I am reminded of a situation that I often share with people when I talk about creativity and innovation. There were a few people, I think one or two people, who fell off the Niagara Falls. You know the Niagara Falls? One of the most beautiful but most dangerous falls in the whole world. I think Zimbabwe has another Victoria Falls. That is also very dangerous and beautiful at the same time. So few people have actually fallen off and then survived without much injuries. And so if someone from Asian context or in the Oriental or collectivist society hear about this happening, what would be their most natural response? Well, I've shared this story with many people in Asia, okay? I'm not trying to generalize, but this is the fact. A lot of Asians will immediately say, oh my goodness, that's a miracle, okay? Thank God, it's a miracle. Maybe an angel came and, protected and lifted that person from injury and, death. But I see a stark contrast when this is presented, or this case is presented to people from the West, okay? People who are encouraged to think beyond, just the supernatural. I mean, I'm not saying that God doesn't exist. I'm not saying that you should be atheist. I'm not challenging our faith. Faith is faith. We should have faith, okay? But when such cases are presented, our natural response is to immediately, attribute it to miracles and not think beyond that. It's going to be very disastrous. Now, when I ask or share this with Westerners, you know what they say or what they do? The first response is, how did that happen? Why did it happen? Let's find out. Let's experiment. In fact, I actually watched a documentary that simulated this whole Niagara Falls in a laboratory setting, and they actually had a mannequin, push them down a few times and then try to understand the conditions, the circumstances, the situations around which a person could survive a fall from Niagara waterfalls. Okay, so you see the difference, the stark difference. So I actually concluded one thing, and that is innovation is actually a mindset. It is a culture. It even can be a lifestyle. And last but not the least, it is a necessity. It is only when people or societies or educators take innovation as a mindset, as a culture, as a lifestyle, as a necessity, that they actually encourage that in their own students. Otherwise, they are not really interested in that. They're just interested in covering syllabus, making sure the students perform well academically and scoring very high. But we all know the truth of the matter. Scores do not really matter anymore because that do not directly correlate with real life application, knowledge, and excellence. Now, third, we must definitely focus on sustainability. We already talked about sustainability. All these beautiful ideas are good and great, but how to make it sustainable? Sustainable change doesn't happen overnight. Google's big successes came from long-term thinking, not quick wins. And as education leaders, we need to commit to consistent, meaningful change. Thinking beyond today's challenges to prepare for tomorrow's opportunities. So these are the challenges that we are facing today. And finally, we lead with humanity. And this is what I am really passionate about. At the end of the day, I see a lot of instances where education has become devoid of humanity. Okay, and I think Ms. Simran's research, one of the biggest area of her research is about social emotional learning and all that. So we lead with humanity. We need to lead with humanity. That is the biggest and the most important characteristic of education leaders today and the 21st century and beyond. Technology may accelerate our possibilities, but it's human-centered leadership, such as empathy, listening. I'm talking about active listening and ethical decision-making that ensures that innovation serves everyone, not just a few. So we are talking about inclusion and inclusivity and equity in education. So in closing, education today needs leaders who embrace the spirit of Google's 20% time policy. Now, please go ahead and do more research about Google's 20% time policy and see how that can really have a lot of implications on our practices, our mindset, and what we do as educators. Empowering people to think boldly, lead courageously, and innovate sustainably. Thank you. And I hope to see all of you in Finland. And I hope to share more about my ideas over there. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much, Dr. Roy. It is always a pleasure to hear from you. And what a wonderful way to share Google's story and take us to the education innovation. For a bit, yes, as you said rightly about Finland, we at CC are very proud to give about 20 to 30% to creating things and bringing them out to the education world, and also reinventing and relearning our stuff. And I will now at this point welcome Hiram, who is our strategy director, to throw more light on this and take us to the next segment. And once again, thank you so much, Dr. Roy. Hiram, over to you.
Thanks, Simran, and thank you, Dr.
Simran,
Roy.
Hiram,
Dr.
just a moment.
Hi.
Hiram Ramki here. I'm sorry
Yes.
to interrupt.
Yeah.
I just want to take few minutes to respond to Mr. Krishnan's inputs.
Sir,
Is it
we
possible,
will
or
take
we
the
can do?
questions.
Yeah, definitely.
Not
Definitely,
questions,
we'll
that's
have
okay.
comments and discussion at the end of this
Okay,
session.
right.
Is it okay?
Okay.
Is it okay? Because we have some schedule
That's fine.
to be
That's
follow, and definitely we'll be
Yeah.
happy. So thank you very much for that.
I am running away now.
Yeah, okay. So we will have questions collated and we will be able to sharing. And anyway, we are meeting in Finland, so everybody is welcome to discuss. This is a curtain raiser for all of us, and we will be having discussion on this part. Thank you very much for everybody's comments and interest. So Dr. Edward, thank you very much for your comments. It has been really enlightening for me to understand about various aspects and how the overall different policies in the creative worlds are affecting to the productivity and as well as the work what we are working on and how it is connected to the education world. With the same logic or with the same line, I would like to take forward to introduce our respected UNESCO chair, who has been a former UNESCO chair and who has got the new tenureship also as a part, and who is our guide philosopher, and as well as who has been heading as a chairman of the this conference, Professor Pekka Nettermäki with me. I request Pekka to start your camera with me. And how are you, Pekka? Welcome.
Very well. Thank you. It was nice. Can you put my first slide of mine?
Yes. So I will give the background and then we can discuss on that part. So Professor Pekka has been a researcher, quite a well-known professor for mathematics as well as in the information technology. He has been the Dean of Education as well as Dean of Mathematics and as well as in Faculty of Information Technology at University of Jyväskylä. He is a senior advisor for Lapinranta University of Technology, who is our partner in hosting this conference with Council for Creative Education. And more importantly, Professor Pekka's vision is quite broad while as a UNESCO chair, and he would like to share some of his ideas. This conference would be a first of its series in his leadership as chair, and as well as we have been getting benefit of his leadership since last 4 years. But specifically for this conference, we are having UNESCO chairs sessions along with this. So with this introduction, I request Professor Pekka to have just a short summary of what exactly this means for all of us. And just I'm putting the summary of our...
No. Put those what you have written.
Yes. Just
Too
I shared
detailed, yes.
with you.
This
Yes.
is what we do with mathematicians. Then I want to speak what we are doing. Because we have two teams. One are team of mathematics and one is more in education and creativity.
Yeah. So do you want to summarize this one of the objectives and research questions?
What we have prepared with you. Yes, that.
Hold on. Pekka, actually, I have only one presentation with me right now, because the other presentation which is already there, it is still not reviewed actually. So I request you to continue the first one itself.
Okay, if you cannot put the slides, I will explain what we are doing.
Yeah, exactly.
In Lahti, we have the opening of this UNESCO Share, and there are two lines. This is one is in scientific computing, and the second line is this education and creativity. And we have this meeting in Lahti, and this year we have another meeting in September in Lahti as well, which is in European Consortium in Mathematics and Engineering. We have there's more some transport and optimization of logistics. That is the topic. And in Jyväskylä we organize in November as well this e-commerce conference. Topic of scientific computing in healthcare, especially artificial intelligence is the topic. And in April, we have in the International Summer School in Jyväskylä course about creativity. Christopher is presenting there, and it is first lecture in the summer school about creativity. In 1 week, we have this creativity in science, business, and so on. And after 4 days, we have seminar with students. They will discuss what they have learned. But afternoon we have lectures, and in the morning we have lectures. Afternoon we work with students together that they will learn about what is the creativity. It is very intensive course, but this is a starting. And second part of this UNESCO share is of course start international doctorate program. Our plan is to hire maybe 130-150 students from various countries. Now we have discussed Haram with India, then we have Pakistan, and we have another team which is discussing with the countries from Africa. The idea is to have so-called double degree of doctoral program that in their own country they will do the doctoral thesis what is needed in their country, and then they come to Finland maybe for 2 years or shorter time to continue the same topic. But we have another aspect that we want that they will have application in industry or public sector. So they are double degree, and we organize so that they can work 3 months in companies or in the public sector. So in the doctoral program is very practical oriented, and we hope that these young people in that way can continue working in Finland or in their country. And then of course we have this conference areas, like we have in May we continue that and organize 2 or 3 conferences every year. So this is more or less what we will do during next 4 months. I continue with funding. We are trying to find funding from European Union, and Christopher Fenivesi is expert of trying funding from European Union and other sources. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Pekka. It has been a great honor for all of us that you are sharing some things which are really work in progress, as well as you are giving directions for all of us. Thank you very much. I will give a brief background about what kind of work Professor Pekka has been also been doing in the field of digital transformations. He has been instrumental in developing the healthcare platforms, which are a kind of a revolutionary in Finland here, but also they are being used for creating the digital platform for healthcare. But now those those platforms can be also enlarged and envisioned to the larger objective of the global South countries for educational developments and digitalization. One of the work what CC is working along with the University of Jyväskylä is working on with the Faculty of Information Technology is how the AI supported platforms can democratize the quality of education, and as well as it is developing how the access to the education can be worked on. And we are also working on the catalyzing the innovative approaches of in learning experiences, mainly learning experience platforms, and how it can be able to work with the creative curriculums and as well as with the assessment connected to that. So all this work you will be able to see and meet and interact with Professor Pekka at the symposium. So I think Professor Pekka and we all welcome you all to the 12th International Symposium on Creative Education. And I think we will discuss more about this topic in next few minutes as well.
Thank you. And thank you for you helping me in writing these applications, because you have done a lot of for that and it was very difficult. Thank you.
Yes, it has been honor to work for you, sir. So with this part, maybe Simran, we can just go to the next point, and then I will come to the question and answers towards the last part, which we have dedicated for.
Yes, thank you so much, Hiram, and honor to see you again, Professor Pekka. I look forward to meeting you in person. We have team Sacred Heart School joining us and coming personally to Finland, and I believe there are some members who have already joined. Miss Ashwini, are you there, Miss Ajita? Is anyone already joined from Sacred Heart School? Okay, so Hiram, then we can give them about some time, because there are 3 of them who have been...
Simran, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, this is Ashwini here. I'm so sorry,
hi.
I'm not able to put on the video. I just
No worries,
got
no
the
worries.
mic on, yeah. So
we
good
just
evening. I
wanted
was
to...
just,
Yes,
yeah.
please, over to you, and you can say a few words about your participation in Finland.
You can continue, you can continue.
Okay, so no, are you going to have your team member, Ms. Sajita, talk about your participation in the topic that your school is presenting? Has she joined?
I'll just check.
If not, then if you wish to continue, or you want to take some time and then continue after that.
Yeah, I'll take some time and then we'll continue.
Okay,
Once you
great.
join,
No
just
worries. So you
update
ping
yeah.
me once you're ready.
Sure.
Hiram, we can just give some highlights about the 12th symposium. Maybe you can share the house space and how we can network, and we can already start building this whole education leadership community. Yeah. Thank you.
So this section now we are mainly concentrating on giving just an idea about what kind of things you can expect during our 12th International Symposium. And I will give you a background for the symposium in brief. This will take approximately 10 minutes altogether, and then we will go to the question and answers towards the end. The basic idea of Council for Creative Education is redefining education through creativity. We have been working in this area since last 14 years, and this has been our motto, which we are driving together. And our fundamentals are based on research and how we can be able to take this research community of more than 15,000 researchers and educators working with us day in, day out. So this has been our vision, and to make this vision practical, every year we come up with a new theme of the conference. So our first conference started in 2013, where we started with the basic concept of what is the definition of a creative education. And as we go ahead, we touched upon multiple topics on the creativity in learning spaces, togetherness, socio-emotional learning, happiness and creativity, and developing the education technology around the creative learning spaces. Those were the themes which we touched upon for last 11 conferences. This year, we decided that, okay, now it's our time to focus on how the leadership can be nurtured by using creative methods, and how the leadership can be able to enhanced by using the spaces around us as well as learning experiences around us. So that has been our main focus of our conference. And to make that possible, I'm going to share some of the key areas which we just discussed a few minutes back. But I think it will be easier for us to make the things easier for all of us. So having said this, we have our 12th International Symposium, which has been concentrating on to the leadership. And that's why the theme of the conference is education leadership. You can see that we have also very active programs. So our program is we start with the pre-conference on 4th of May, and we will end on 9th of May after the final conference day happens in at Lapinaranta University of Technology. So there are many of the participants of us have already joined to the pre-conference. So they will be with us for 6 days, and some of the participants will join for the 8th and 9th May in Lahati at Lapinaranta University of Technology. So this year's our focus theme is on leadership. So that's why we have received more than 120 plus research papers on these topics, including the leadership and empowerment, role of socio-emotional intelligence, as well as pedagogical leader and educational communities. And we are also concentrating some of the areas of the collaborative school culture and neurological basis of effective leadership. And we have got amazing papers and research topics on this area. So we are looking forward to the presentations and workshops during this conference. And this 2 days of the conference, you can see really a good amount of quality of work what we have done in the past. A lot of team members have done their lot of efforts, but also our participants who are a part of the earlier symposium, they have done the very breakthrough, very groundbreaking research. So one of the area that we are also looking at something called as a creative classrooms and workshops, where we will have the workshops which are being presented on that area. So we start on the 4th of May. On the 4th of May, we all will gather in Helsinki, and that's a vibrant city. Everybody is welcome to Finland. It's one of the happiest country. Now we got declared as a happiest country in the world for the 8th consecutive year. You will experience how it really means for that. And then from Monday onwards, we are going to visit schools, early childhood education centers, primary schools, middle schools, and high schools as well. Also, you will find a good opportunity to interact with experts, teachers, leaders, and students within these schools. And as well as you will have a very deep down inside how the Finnish education works. Having said this, after that, we have 2 days of conference. We all will travel on Wednesday evening to Lahti. And then we will have 2 days of conference, including hackathon. And now this is a important thing that this is a super active conference where everybody contributes to the larger goal of redefining education through creativity. So we have something called as an education hackathon, what we call as a Creative Hack 2025. And in this part, we are going to have a topic connected to your research, and we are developing a concrete solution to the SDG challenges around us. And this is a good amount of discussion, brainstorming that is going to happen. And in our last 3 conferences, we are conducting education hackathons, and they have been super productive. And to make that possible, any conference is as important as that of speakers, as that of the participants and those who are contributing to the development of this conference. So we are giving a learning platform and communication platform for all of you, and that we call as a house space. So you will find a kind of a platform like this in which you can be able to interact with various your co-participants. You will find a lot of information about various topics here, as well as we are doing this as a part of the United Nations World Creativity and Innovation Week. Every year it is been celebrated on 21st April, but the entire celebration happens for 4 weeks, starting from 15th April till 15th of May. So you will be able to have these celebrations also as a part of the United Nations World Innovation and Creativity Day and week. And we will be celebrating it on the 8th of May in the evening. You all are welcome to join for the evening reception. We will have a fun on that day, and also we celebrate our conference on that day as well. And this particular, you will find the schedule of the conference in the next slides. You all, those who have registered for the conference, you will get access to this platform by end of this month, by 30th of March, and you can start networking here. You can be able to get access to various interesting stuff, and you will be able to see that who are the most active ones here. Right now, this is access is given only to the administrators, but as we go further, we are giving access to everyone. And also we have this creative hackathon where we can be able to discuss and integrate together. You will get more information, and we are going to have many such webinars where we are going to interact with a lot of you educators there. Now, this gives me an opportunity to give you a glimpse of what happened in the last symposium. Also, in this symposium, we had focused on to the role of happiness in nurturing creativity. You see that, okay, Finland has been topping the happiness index, but we have a lot of things to work upon from society perspective as well as the education perspective. So we use this topic as a kind of a curtain raiser. For the last time, Professor Pekka Nettermäki shared his vision, and actually he has been at the key forefront of the leading this UNESCO event, and as well as we had quite a great quality learning meetings happening at the same time. And we had some participants joining from Middle Eastern countries, USA, uh, uh, Brazil, as well as from Malaysia, as well as from Thailand, as well as Far Eastern countries. So this has been quite a great learning experience for all of us, and we look forward to developing this further for us. And to make this possible, today we are going to announce something very interesting, and we are going to announce key speakers that will be there available for us for the conference. So we will have opportunity to interact with Professor Pekka Nettermäki. We just had listened to him. Also, we will have opportunity to interact with Dr. Edward Roy. You also listen to him, and we will get a lot of other interactions together. Then we have opportunity to meet and interact with one of the greatest researcher in information technology and education technology, Professor Tommi Karkainen. He has been the director of operational area of University of Jyväskylä, and he is also the professor of education technology and cognition learning. And he has been a kind of a role model for developing the key learning initiatives in Finland. And also, I'm really proud that we have another UNESCO chair in the inclusive literacy learning. And he has been the UNESCO chair for foundation literacy, Professor Heikki Lyuttinen. He has been associated with Council for Creative Education for now more than 6 years, and he has some very innovative models of foundational literacy, and he will be unveiling those models, and it is a great idea, and like you all are welcome to share your network, as well as we can be able to work together for that. And also my dear friend, Professor Christoph Fenivesi. He has been quite a creative person in the field of STEM education and creative maths part. He will be also joining us during this conference. And we are really proud that in this entire conference, we have a lot of other participants who are joining us from various other countries. Just to give you the idea here, which countries are getting participated in this particular conference. I will just give you a heads on. So we have participants from Malaysia, India, USA, Israel, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Uganda, Australia, Nepal, Ethiopia, Trinidad and Tobago, Canada, Italy, Morocco. Oh, that's amazing. So these are the kind of countries. Sorry if I missed any of the names, but I'm sure that those who registered with us, these are the countries. I'm putting them in the right context here. So this is the plan that what we are having during this conference, and as well as I would like to make the final announcement for the today is that we are having this conference just not only just to come together and discuss, but also take the discussion forward to the larger impact. So for that matter, we are going to collect all the abstracts and presentations which are presented during this conference, and we are going to publish a research book and e-publication of this conference. So all the proceedings of the conference will be published as a report, and it will be published as a Council for Creative Education publication division and as an e-book. So this is a plan, and this is what we are going to have together. And now this is my objective was to provide you the overview of how this conference is spanning across, and we are going to discuss more when we come together in person here in Finland. The weather in Finland is quite amazing. We have quite warm winter this time, but also you can be able to enjoy some spring when you come here. But also you have some leisure activities that we are planned, so you can be able to really enjoy Finnish experience and hospitality with CC. So with this plan, I would like to conclude my talk, and then we will have some discussion and comments from all the participants. And at this moment, I request Mr. Ramakrishnan.
No, one second, Hiram. So
Yeah.
sorry. Before we move to question and answers, we have Miss Sajita. She has joined from Sacred Heart. Sajita, ma'am, over to you to talk about what you're presenting. And your group is visiting to Finland. And also a big congratulations for getting your provisional accreditation certificate from CCE Finland. So quite a momentous thing for you all. Over to you, Sajita, to say a few words about your participation and your coming to Finland.
Thank you so much, Simran. Hiram sir, it's nice to meet again. We have Ashwini ma'am, our principal, and Varsha ma'am, our administrative head, also in this meet. We three are really looking forward to this visit and learning a lot from this symposium. I think it's exactly a year back when I got in touch with Simran. I never knew the journey would be this fulfilling. There is so much that we have learned in the process, and Simran has recently shared the accreditation report, which we as a team have to sit and discuss and take it to the next level, go through the gap analysis and all of that. So it has been a completely holistic process. I'm glad that we're a part of the symposium, not just the award ceremony, but the entire week, because the learning is there, is what I believe truly. It would be great to have an insight into the educational practices of Finnish schools, and like Hiram sir mentioned, take a sneak peek of the happiest country in the world. Yeah. What I would like to present as a school is Sacred Heart is a school that has always believed, though it's a CBSE school in the academic context. We have always looked at going the other side, experimenting a lot with learning, and that's exactly what I would like to present. And also,
I think, Sajita ma'am, we have lost your connection. So Hiram, maybe we can move on to the question and answers.
Yeah. No, okay, no worries. I think we are looking forward to everybody's participation in the conference, and we are really happy that everybody joining here. So thank you very much. And now we are going to have the comments and questions. And I request Mr. Ramakrishnan to make the first comment. He has been a quite active guiding force for CC. He was just here in this year, last year, to our Finland education experience. And sir, please go ahead.
Thanks. Thanks all the co-participants here. I think I just wanted to echo the ideas of Mr. Krishnan, Edward Roy Krishnan. He made on innovation. I can't agree more than him. I just wanted to talk about the innovation in Indian education, the ancient Indian education, which was very holistic curriculum. And this concept of center of learning was very much there at that point of time. Integration of spiritual and practical knowledge. That's what we are talking about, the old wine in the new bottle, emotional intelligence, adversity quotient, and so on and so forth. Integration of spiritual and inclusivity and accessibility was part and parcel of the academics. It's just not the academics. Emphasis on the debate and critical thinking. Now, we are telling there's a new word called critical thinking, design thinking. Probably we have the know-how, probably we did not have the show-how at that point of time. So that was a thing. And I think if we look at the concept of zero and decimal system, which has come from India, and that is the innovation, has this advance of revolutionary mathematics, enabling more efficient calculation, record keeping, the manuscripts, the dating back to 3rd and 4th century, concept of zero and decimal system, advance in mathematics, algebra, and trigonometry, negative numbers was coined by this innovation by India, astronomical insights, metallurgical innovations, medical contributions in Ayurveda and other Unani and other people. I think I can't agree more than that. The innovation should be probably the nucleus of the teaching and educators. How do we innovate? Not only thinking in thinking outside the box. I think we should start thinking in new boxes. I think it's very, very different. Thinking outside the box. Still we have the world map. How can we think in the new boxes? And definitely we are trying to reinvent Indian education system now, because 2 centuries of 200 years of colonial rule we were made, and probably the culture was a little shaken up. We are trying to bring it back. I think it's a more need. We need to be a little more aggressive on this and try to look at how the NEP 2020 we can do that. And I think there is a focus on, they have drawn a lot of things from the Finland education policy. The NEP has been drawn, which I think I discussed with Heram also. I think there's a lot more to do on this. I think the matter or the trick lies in the execution now. How do we roll out this?
Mr. Ramakrishnan, I think we missed you. I think you are frozen, but I think okay, very good. Hello, can you come again? I think your last 10 seconds were frozen.
I have two of the colleagues, Hema from Padma Sheshadri and Nandini Ashok Kumar, both are coming with me to participate. We want to see how collectively we can learn and implement something here, kind of situations. It's been a great opportunity. And I'm sure I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. I'm sure there is a mutual cross-learning with everywhere. Thank you very much, Heram, for the opportunity. Wonderful meeting you all here.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate this, and looking forward to meeting you again. So we are all having plans to get ready. We are excited to welcome you all, and as well as now we have been doing this for a long time, almost like last 13-14 years. This is a part and parcel of our life. But having said this, every year, every conference is a new learning experience for us. So during the course, you will find great experiences, and I request you to ask any questions or comments. Please raise your hands, virtual hands, and then we can be able to get you in. Any questions?
Heram, only probably one clarification is for the presentation of the paper, what is the kind of a time frame we have, each of the participants. Accordingly, we need to fine tune our discussions, And always they say, if I have to speak for 2 hours, I require only 5 minutes preparation. For 5 minutes preparation, I require 2 days to prepare. So that is the amount of the work to be done, because I need to convey what I wanted to convey, what I want to speak, and what I want to share.
Yeah. So right now, our all team members are communicating with each of the presenters about their topic, because now their abstracts have been accepted, and those who have been accepted, they are now, we are keeping them in different themes allocated, and each of the sessions have specific themes allocated for them. Typical time frame will be 15 minutes altogether, including question and answers. So we will have the presenter will have 12 minutes plus 3 minutes of question and answers. And at the end of the session, each session will have three presenters. And you will get all this information through our email. We have sufficient time with us. So you will get the information about the conference schedules and which session you will be part of, at what time you are going to present. Everything you will be able to get it in the first week of April. Because we are yet to get all the confirmation of the speakers, because we are waiting for some other participants to join from USA, and as well as there are some speakers who will be joining from even Vietnam and eastern world, as well as from India as well. We are expecting around 6 more speakers to join from India as well. So once we get everyone together, then we will schedule the plan, and you will get the initial part. But you please prepare yourself for 15 minutes, including question and answer.
Okay.
I think that would be sufficient for everyone. Okay, and we are going to conduct a separate pre-departure orientation session for all the participants who are coming for the residential program, and those who are coming for the conference separately. Now, this pre-departure orientation will answer all the questions in the context of what kind of thing you should pack while coming to Finland, which of the areas that you should, we will go through the entire schedule, what you can expect in the program, how to organize this thing, some practical travel tips. We will be able to covering all these things during pre-departure orientation. You will receive this information in your email box. And still there is a time for participants to register for the conference, as well as we have slots available for the workshops as well as for the presenters. So practically we have already been given dedicated slots for the workshops, those who have already asked for. But there are also some of the speakers and some of the paper presenters slots needs to be designed in due course of time, and you will get it very soon. So thank you very much for this. I can see Dr. B.L. Joshi has raised the hand. Can you please unmute your microphone and...
Yes, good evening, and thank you so much for this wonderful, informative webinar. It was pleasure to listen to the views of course, Dr. Hiram, who we're going to start with, but I'm really inspired to listen to the views of Dr. Roy and the way he has explained the theory, Google theory of 20% time. I mean, that was simply amazing. It was good to know about Dr. Pekka. He's a UNESCO chair, and he'll be part of the faculty member for that. I had few questions to be that the first one about the time of the presentation that has been very well covered. The second question I had about that, do we get this 120 papers? You have already said that it will be there in the form of the e-publication. I have two questions still remaining. The one is, you said that the Finland has become the first happy country, eighth time in consecution. I just wanted to know, is the education is one of the important factor of it? It's one thing. Second thing is, you have already said about the workshops and paper presentations. Is there any slot available for the workshop? That's my second question. And yes, good to know that Mr. Ramakrishnan said that the NEP, he spoke on the NEP, the Indian education system. I think few things must have been borrowed from the Finnish education system, but it's good that in our scenario the things are changing. So, and one my last question is, how are we going to be continuous contributor for the cause of educational research in the future to come? Thank you, sir.
So thank you for all the questions, and I will be happy to answer one by one. So we have received 120 plus abstracts, out of which we have selected top 30, and we have given invitation to them. So those who are going to present their abstracts and those who are going to present the papers as well as a part of workshops or creative classrooms, their abstracts will be published as a part of the publication. And also, obviously, the author has to give the consent for the publication. So we will go through the entire process once the presentations are being made, and then it takes approximately 6 months to publish a book minimum, because it's a quite a good hard work that we are going. So we are giving a timeline for the somewhere around 6 months to 10 months time frame to publish the abstract and publication books connected with that. This is about the first point. The abstracts which are not selected for the presentations, they will not be published because first of all, there is a criteria for which abstract will be published. And second thing, author also don't like to present if their abstracts are not accepted. Third point is about the workshops. If your paper is selected for the paper presentation, it is under the paper presentation category. It is good to go ahead with that plan. Workshop is specifically if you would like to demonstrate some methods which are not a presentation mode, and those are the activity based methods. And those activity based methods are the methods which cannot be covered as a part of the paper presentation. So I will recommend, if you want to get the best of your academic research, continue with the presentation, paper presentation. If not, if you think that you have to opt for the workshop, then you take out your presentation from there and put it in the workshop mode, and then that will be second option for you. Now coming to, I hope I answered the previous or practical questions, and you will get to know more information in the pre-departure orientation while presentation and timelines are being given. Last and important question, what Professor Dr. Joshi also asked, and which is a bit of common question which has been asked to us, is that the happiest country in the world, does it also mean that it how much education contributes to that for education? So the World Happiness Report, which is been conducted by the Wellbeing Research Center at University of Oxford, and in partnership with the Gallup Index as well as Gallup Institutes for Research, they come up with various criterias for developing this World Happiness Report. And if you read the criterias for those, which are the criterias or what is a method and philosophy, they use it on the 0 to 10 scales, that happiness index, and it checks various well-being factors of the individuals in the part. So they take care of the national statistics of the GDP, as well as how certain you are about your government, what is a combination of the confidence on the government, diversity issues, citizen engagement, and all these things. They can be able to come through that part. And education is a fundamental factor to affect all these parts. So your question was, is education is one of the factor of going to the happiness happiness one? So there is no direct relationship, because this Gallup survey doesn't ask the question only about education. So, but obviously there are a lot of factors which are dependent on the education on which the Gallup survey of happiness index has been measured. And second important part, and which I will tell you, is always say that, okay, This is the happiness country index. So it's a country level, how the country is performing for the well-being of their citizens. So this is a specific only unidirectional thinking which has been given. You will find many other things. Happiness is a very broad concept. It doesn't only depend on the it doesn't only dependent on the facilities provided, infrastructure available, GDP. No, these are not the only factors. In Finland, we are happy because of the forest. We have silence. We can enjoy the time. We have our own personal time. A lot of other things are also there. So happiness also comes from that. So we will discuss. You will get to know in practice, and I will recommend you that along with our main conference, we are going to have very fun-filled events. Just last week, we had a group of American and Mexican teachers coming here, and we enjoyed something called as Avanto. Avanto is a Finnish sauna with a dip inside the frozen lake or frozen sea. So you can go inside the frozen lake for 10 seconds, come back and go to sauna. If you do this 3-4 times, then you sleep like a baby. It's an experience for a Finnish happiness. So if you all are interested, we will welcome you to come to and experience those things. By the first week of May, our temperatures of the lakes are quite warm. They go to around 7 degrees or even 10 degrees temperature, 7 to 8 degrees. But still it is cold enough to enjoy the Avanto. So you will get the experience of that. I hope I answered these questions, all the questions, and looking forward
So,
to
what is the
meeting
last thing? How we can be continually connected with this research aspect?
Okay. Last question. Yes, last question is that. Yes, definitely. So, thank you for that question as well. So CC is an ongoing organization. Conference is one of the milestones, but our major goal is to create a network of educators. You are welcome to join as a member of this organization, as well as we are having various courses, training programs. So once you come here, and we will discuss various opportunities, how you can be able to collaborate together for that as well. And we have separate meetings for that as well. So definitely, I will be more than happy to conduct this talk. And once you meet a lot of speakers, lot of other networking people here, you will get a wider audience for your work. I think you should make use of this conference just not for spreading your content, but also you make sure that, okay, you connect with friends and very like-minded educators around us. This is the greatest achievement of CC. Since last 13, 14 years, we are working on this conference, and we have the friends from every country, those who are coming here, and that's our asset. So I hope you can get the benefit of that network as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And my only intention was, how can I get connected with this organization as a master trainer? I mean, that is what was my
Yeah, definitely. I think
concern.
that part regarding master trainer program, we have master trainer program. My colleague will be able to share you that email. And in the next meetings, because right now we are almost almost in the last 1 minute of the presentation, but we will be able to discuss that in detail in the coming days. Okay, then we have some participants from Peru as well as Mexico and as well as from USA, and I think it's quite early morning there, but they have managed to come to this conference, and as well as we can see that participants coming from Nepal, India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and as well as from Trinidad and Tobago, and so on. So I really appreciate your attendance here, and thank you for giving this time. Simran, would like to say some concluding comments before we end?
Thank you so much, Hiram, for this insightful discussion. And thank you, Mr. Joshi. It is always good when we are asking these questions, we are also learning. And Dr. Ramki, it's a pleasure. I have not spoken to you on these educational topics, and I look forward to talking to you. And once again, a gigantic thank you to Dr. Roy and Professor Pekka for your invaluable time coming here, talking to us. And you have actually set the stage, and this is a true curtain raiser for us, because now the audience is more curious to meet you all in person and listen to you. A big thank you to all the team members from Sacred Heart. I know it's a very long day, but you still managed to join. And my heartfelt gratitude to all other participants and CCE team, Erin, Paula, Nandini, Kalyan, Danika, Ashwin, all of us are very, very excited to welcome you guys. And we have gone about the timeline, but I'm happy that we had this meaningful curtain raiser, and we look forward to the next meetings. And we will be in touch. We have noted down all the queries, right from master trainer to your virtual presentations. We will be definitely sending it to you. Yeah. So thank you once again. And Hiram, a closing note from you.
Yes, so thank you and welcome you all. In Finnish, we say tervetuloa, or in English, we say welcome. In Hindi, we say suswagatam, and tervetuloa. So we are looking forward to meeting you all. Itos, thank you very much. What is Spanish for welcome, Paula? In Spanish,
Bienvenidos.
Sorry?
Bienvenidos.
Sorry, I think I didn't get you. Please, you can say that.
Bienvenidos. Gracias por venir.
Yes. Just copy that. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.